The stars were disappearing one by one. Nobody knew why. High Counselor Zathera stood in the crystal control room of Veltheri Prime, watching the big screen that showed their part of the galaxy. Red dots marked the places where star systems used to be. Now there was only empty black space. "Sir, we lost contact with the Outer Ring colonies," his assistant said. The young Velthari's crystal body was shaking with fear. "That makes 24 systems in the past month." Zathera closed his 4 eyes. 24 systems meant billions of lives gone, just gone, like they never existed at all, far across the galaxy. Queen Mother Ziz felt the death screams of her children through the hive mind. The Zephyrians were connected to each other through thoughts, so when the outer colonies died, she felt every single death like a knife in her mind. "The darkness is coming closer," she whispered to her generals. "Our warrior fleets cannot stop it. Nothing can stop it." The enemy had no name that anyone could pronounce. The old records called them the Devourers, but most people just called them the Darkness. They moved from system to system, eating everything. Not just the people or the planets, but the stars themselves. They left nothing behind except empty space. In the energy fields of the Luxury Collective, the plasma beings flickered with terror. They had lived for millions of years as pure energy, thinking they were safe from anything physical. But the Devourers ate energy too. They ate everything. Send the warning signals, the collective decided. Tell everyone in the galaxy what is coming. Maybe someone, somewhere, has an answer. The signals went out in all directions. Mathematical codes that any smart species could understand. Star maps showing where the Devourers were. Pictures of the destroyed worlds. Most important of all, a simple message repeated over and over. Help us. This. Help us. On a small blue planet in a quiet part of the galaxy, Dr. Kim Hanna was working the night shift at the radio telescope station outside Seoul. She loved the quiet hours when she could listen to space without anyone bothering her. Usually, space was silent except for the natural sounds of stars and planets. But tonight was different. Her computer started beeping like crazy. Signals were coming from everywhere, all at the same time. Strong signals, clearly made by someone. Intelligent, this is impossible, Hannah said to herself. She had been looking for alien signals her whole life and never found anything. Now her screen was full of them. She called her boss, Director Park Dong-woo, even though it was 3 in the morning. Park speaking, came the sleepy voice. "Director, you need to come to the station right now," Hannah said. "I think we found them." "Found who?" "Aliens. Lots of them. And I think they are in trouble." Park arrived 30 minutes later, still in his pajamas. He looked at Hannah's data, and his face went white. "Are you sure these are not natural signals?" he asked. "Look at this." Hannah pointed to her screen. "These are math problems." "Perfect math." "And this part here? These are pictures, star maps. And this." She played an audio file that sounded like screaming mixed with static. "This sounds like someone crying for help." Park sat down hard in his chair. "We need to call the government. Right now." Within hours, the small radio station was full of people. Scientists, military officers, government officials, even the president of South Korea came to see for himself. The signals kept coming, getting weaker each day as more sources went quiet. Dr. Sarah Mitchell from the American team helped translate the mathematical parts. "They are showing us star positions," she explained to the crowd of officials. "But look, these systems here, and here, and here, they are gone now. The signals from those places stopped yesterday." "What do you mean gone?" asked General Roberts. "I mean the stars are not there anymore. Something is destroying entire solar systems and moving to the next one." The room went very quiet. Kim Hanna worked for 3 days straight, using every computer she could find to decode more signals. What she found made her cry. Messages were from dozens of different alien species, all saying the same thing. An ancient enemy was eating the galaxy and they could not stop it. "They have been out there for millions of years," she told the emergency meeting of world leaders. "Some of these civilizations are older than life on Earth. They have technology we can barely understand. But this enemy is destroying them all." "Long do we have?" asked the Chinese representative. Hannah looked at her calculations. If it keeps moving at the same speed, it will reach our part of the galaxy in 5 years. Maybe less. The President of the United Nations stood up, and we have a choice to make. We can hide and hope it does not find us, or we can help them, finished the Russian delegate. Go out there and fight this thing. We barely have ships that can reach Mars, someone pointed out. How can we fight something that destroys civilizations millions of years older than us? Kim Hannah thought about the crying sounds and the alien signals. Somewhere out there, people were dying, and they had asked for help. Because, she said quietly, they asked. The news that humans were not alone in the universe changed everything on Earth in just 1 week. Admiral Lee Junho stood in front of the biggest meeting room in the United Nations building. Representatives from every country on Earth sat listening. As he explained what they had learned from the alien signals, the enemy destroys star systems by eating them, Junho said, pointing to pictures on the big screen. They have been doing this for millions of years. Every advanced civilization in the galaxy is running away from them. The room was full of worried voices. The president of Brazil asked, "How can we fight something that destroyed beings much smarter than us?" Dr. Kim Hannah, now wearing a military uniform, stepped forward. Because we think differently than they do. Look at these battle reports we decoded from the alien signals. She showed videos of space battles between the aliens and the Devourers. The alien ships moved in perfect formations, fighting with honor and rules. They announced their attacks before making them, tried to avoid civilian targets. They fought like gentlemen. The Devourers know exactly what they will do, Hannah explained. Every alien race fights the same way, but humans, ... she smiled. We fight dirty. Chief Engineer Yoon Soo-jin stood up next. She had been working without sleep for months, building weapons that would make the peaceful alien civilizations very uncomfortable. While they use clean energy weapons, we still have nuclear bombs, Soo-jin said. While they try to disable enemy ships without killing, we built weapons designed to destroy everything. They think our weapons are barbaric and cruel. Good, said Admiral Junho. Let them think that. The plan that came together over the next 6 months was simple but crazy. Earth would build a space fleet using human technology mixed with alien science from the decoded signals. But instead of copying alien weapons, they would use human ones, the dirty, brutal, unfair weapons that civilized species had given up long ago. Commander Ominicio led the team that designed their battle strategy. The aliens always attack. From the front, she explained to her officers. They announced themselves and challenged the enemy to fair combat. We will attack from behind, from the sides, from places they do not expect. We will hit them and run away before they can fight. Back. Dr. Song Min-ji, the team's alien technology expert, worked day and night to understand how Devourer ships worked. They have energy shields that stop laser weapons, she told the weapons team. But look at this. Their shields are designed for energy attacks. Physical objects like bullets and bombs might go right through. The first human warship was built in Earth's orbit using metal from the moon and technology learned from alien distress signals. They called it the UES Soul, and it looked nothing like the beautiful, graceful alien ships they had seen in the decoded videos. The Soul was ugly, covered in weapons that stuck out like spikes. It had nuclear missile launchers, kinetic cannons that shot metal bars at incredible speed, and electromagnetic pulse bombs that could destroy electronics from far away. It looks like a space monster, laughed Captain Kim Tae-young, who would command one of the smaller attack ships. The aliens probably build ships that look pretty. We built something that looks scary. As the fleet grew bigger, something amazing happened on Earth. Countries that had been enemies for decades started working together. The technology sharing between nations happened faster than anyone thought possible. Russian scientists worked with American engineers. Chinese manufacturers built parts designed by European teams. Korean communication experts worked with Indian computer programmers. We have never been united like this before, observed Dr. Park. Dong Wu, who now led the global alien communication project. It took learning about aliens to make us realize we are all human. The training was intense, Human pilots learned to fly in 3 dimensions instead of just forward and backward like airplane pilots. They practiced attack patterns that no alien military academy would ever teach: surprise attacks, fake retreats, and targeting civilian ships to make the enemy angry and careless. Forget everything you learned about fair fighting, Admiral Junho told his pilots. The enemy has killed billions of innocent people. Nothing we do to them can be unfair. 6 months after the first alien signal was received, the human fleet was ready. 12 ships carrying Earth's best weapons and smartest people. The crews were volunteers from every country, speaking dozens of languages, but united by one goal as the fleet prepared to launch. Kim Hanna sent a message back to the aliens who had called for help. She used the same mathematical codes they had used, but added something new: human music. Battle songs from every culture on Earth. "We heard you," the message said. "We are coming. Hold on just a little longer." The launch happened on a Tuesday morning. People all over Earth stopped what they were doing to watch their televisions as 12 human ships disappeared into hyperspace, heading toward a war that was not their fight. But as Admiral Junho had told the United Nations, when someone calls for help, humans answer, even if we have never met them. Even if they live 1,000 light years away, it is what we do. The ships jumped into the unknown, carrying humanity's hope and anger toward an ancient enemy that had never faced anything like them before. The human fleet arrived at the edge of Velthari space just as another star system died. Admiral Lee Junho watched from the bridge of the U.S. Seoul as a bright star suddenly went dark on their screens. Where a solar system with 5 planets and 2 billion crystal beings had existed, there was now only empty black space. "Sir, we are getting signals from alien ships," reported Communications Officer Park Jinsu. "Thousands of them. They look like they are running away from something." Main screen showed a river of alien spacecraft stretching across space. Big ships, small ships, military vessels, mixed with civilian transports. All of them moving as fast as they could away from the area where the star had just disappeared. "This is Admiral Lee Junho of the United Earth Fleet," Junho broadcast. "On the alien emergency frequency. We received your distress call. We are here to help." The response came quickly. It was High Counselor Zathera himself, his crystal voice shaking with surprise and hope. "Earth Fleet, this is impossible. Species was barely exploring your own solar system when we sent those signals." "How are you here?" "We work fast when people need help," Junho replied. "What is the enemy's position?" "The Devourers are 3 light hours behind our fleet. Our main force has ships the size of moons. Our weapons cannot hurt them." "We have been retreating for 6 months?" Junho looked at his tactical officer, Commander Kim Tae-young. "What do you think?" "The aliens are running in a straight line," Tae-young said, studying the enemy patterns on his screen. "The Devourers are chasing them in a straight line. Nobody is trying anything different. Time to show them how humans fight," Junho decided. The Korean admiral split his small fleet into 4 groups. While the aliens continued their organized retreat, the human ships disappeared from sensors and moved to positions around the Devourer fleet. Captain Han Juo commanded the Yu's Busan, one of the smaller human ships. She led her vessel behind a dead planet and waited. Her ship was loaded with kinetic kill weapons, basically big metal spears that could be shot at nearly the speed of light. Remember, she told her crew, "We are not trying to win a fair fight. We are trying to hurt them and run away before they know what hit them." The first Devourer ship that came into range was huge, black as space itself, with energy shields that glowed purple around its hull. It was slowly eating the remains of a destroyed planet, pulling matter into itself like a cosmic vacuum cleaner. ... "Their sensor array," Han Jiwoo ordered. "Fire everything." The Busan shot 12 metal spears at the enemy ship. The kinetic weapons went through the energy shields like they were not there, because the shields were designed to stop lasers and particle beams, not physical objects moving at incredible speed. The Devourer ship's sensors exploded in flashes of light. Suddenly blind, it stopped moving and started spinning slowly, trying to figure out what had happened. "Hit and run," Han Juwoo called to her crew. "Let's get out of here before its friends arrive." All across the battle area, similar attacks were happening. Commander Ominicio led a group of fighters that attacked from underneath the Devourer formation. Somewhere the ancient enemy never expected threats to come from. Ships used nuclear torpedoes set to explode near the enemy hulls, creating electromagnetic pulses that shut down their electronics. They have been fighting the same way for millions of years, Minesio reported to Admiral Junho. They do not know how to respond to chaos. The alien evacuation fleet stopped running and turned around to watch in amazement. These young humans, from a primitive world, were doing something impossible. They were actually hurting the Devers. High Counselor Zethra watched his tactical display in shock as Devourer ships started to retreat for the first time in recorded history. How are they doing this? He asked his officers. The humans do not fight with honor, replied his tactical officer. They attack without warning. They target non-military systems. They use weapons we stopped using a million years ago because they were too cruel. And it is working, Zethra said quietly. The turning point came when Captain Kim Tae-young discovered that Devourer motherships had a weakness. The massive ships generated their power from the consumed matter in their cores, but they needed to vent excess energy through specific ports to avoid overloading. If we can block those vents, Tae-young reported, the ship will destroy itself from the inside. His solution was typically human, crude but effective. He flew his ship directly at the energy vent and launched every piece of metal debris his crew could find into the opening. Old satellites, spare parts, even the ship's kitchen equipment. The Devourer mothership tried to clear the blockage, but more debris kept coming. Its energy levels rose higher and higher until the ancient vessel exploded in a flash of light visible across 3 star systems. First Devourer mothership destroyed, Tae-young reported calmly, as if he had just fixed a broken radio instead of killing something the size of a small moon. The psychological impact was enormous. The Devourers had not lost a mothership in millions of years. Suddenly, they were not invincible anymore. The alien fleets, inspired by human success, began to fight back. But they fought alongside the humans now, learning new tactics that their civilized minds had never imagined. As the first major battle ended with a human victory, Counselor Zethra sent a message to every surviving civilization in the galaxy. The children of Earth have given us hope. We must support them with everything we have. Together, we can win. Dr. Song Minji never expected to feel sorry for the enemy. She stood in the captured Devourer ship, looking at what her team had found in the deepest parts of the alien vessel. The discovery would change everything about the war. Admiral Junho needs to see this right away, she told her assistant, Lieutenant Park Hyunwoo. Her voice was shaking. 20 minutes later, Admiral Junho arrived. With his senior officers, Dr. Song led them through the dark corridors of the enemy ship to a chamber filled with strange machines and glowing crystals. What are we looking at? Asked Commander Kim Tae-young. These are memory storage devices, Dr. Song explained. I managed to decode some of them. Admiral, the Devourers are not from our universe. She activated a holographic display that showed images of another galaxy, beautiful and full of light. But as the images continued, they showed the galaxy slowly dying, stars going cold, planets freezing, everything becoming dark and empty. They came from a universe that is ending, Dr. Song continued. They are the last survivors of trillions of beings. They eat matter from our universe to stay alive while they travel between dimensions. The room became very quiet. Captain Han Ji-woo spoke first. So they are not evil monsters. They are refugees. Refugees who are killing billions of innocent people, Admiral Junho said firmly, but his voice was not as strong as usual. Dr. Song showed them more images. Devourer cities before their universe started dying. Families of the strange beings living peacefully. Children playing in energy fields. Art, music, science, all of it lost when their reality collapsed. They had been traveling for millions of years, she explained, eating universe after universe to survive. We are just the latest one they found. Lieutenant Park Hyunwoo, who had been studying the technical data, suddenly stood up straight. Doctor, I think I found something important. Look at these power readings. He showed them diagrams of how the Devourers move between dimensions. They need massive amounts of energy to maintain their connection to our reality. Without it, they would be forced to exist completely in our universe and follow our physical laws. What does that mean? Asked Admiral Junho. It means they would become mortal like us. They could be hurt by normal weapons. They could die naturally. Instead of living forever, Dr. Song understood immediately. We could cut their connection to their dying universe, force them to become part of ours. But then they would die anyway, said Commander Ominicio. Their bodies are not designed to live in our reality without that energy connection. The terrible truth settled on everyone in the room. To save their own universe, they had to destroy the last survivors of another one. There was no middle ground, no way for both sides to live. Admiral Junho stared at the images of devourer families. For a long time, finally, he spoke. How long would it take to build a weapon that could cut their dimensional connection? Maybe 2 weeks, answered Lieutenant Park. But sir, if we do this, we will be committing genocide. We will be killing the last members of an entire universe. And if we do not do this, they will eventually kill everyone in our universe, Junho replied, including Earth. The news spread through the human fleet and then to the alien allies. The moral weight of what they had to do was crushing. They were not fighting evil monsters anymore. They were fighting desperate refugees who had no choice but to destroy others to survive. Some of the alien civilizations wanted to find a peaceful solution. Perhaps we can negotiate, suggested High Counselor Zethera. Find a way for both sides to coexist. But Dr. Song had studied the physics involved. There is not enough matter in our galaxy to sustain them without destroying most of our civilizations. They need the energy from living stars and planets. Any compromise means billions of deaths on both sides. Captain Kim Tae-young took the news the hardest. He had destroyed 3 Devourer ships in the last battle, celebrating each victory. Now he knew he had been killing the last survivors of a dead universe. I understand them now, he told Admiral Junho. If Earth was dying and we could save humanity by going to another universe, we would do it too.
Ow.
Even if we had to hurt innocent people. Yes, Junho agreed. But we are on this side of the war. These are our people, our worlds, our responsibility. As the human scientists worked to build the dimensional severing weapon, Dr. Kim Hanna intercepted one final transmission. From the Devourer fleet, it was not a military communication or a threat. It was music. Beautiful, sad music that sounded like wind through dying stars. She realized it was their funeral song. They knew what the humans had discovered. They knew their long journey was about to end. I am sorry, she whispered to the empty space where their signals came from, knowing they could not hear her and would not understand if they could. Lieutenant Park, Hyen Woo, finished the weapon design 2 days ahead of schedule. As he handed the plans to Admiral Junho, he asked quietly, "Are we the good guys in this war?" Junho looked out at the stars, thinking about Earth and all the worlds they were trying to save. We are the guys who chose our universe over theirs. History will decide if that makes us good or not. The final battle was coming, and everyone knew it would end with the death of an entire species. The final battle began above Valtheri. Prime as 3 moons rose over the crystal cities below, Admiral Lee Junho stood on the bridge of the EU Sol, watching the largest enemy force ever assembled moving toward the planet. The Devourer mothership was so big it blocked out stars. Around it, hundreds of smaller ships moved like a dark cloud across space. All human ships. This is Admiral Ginho. He broadcast to his fleet. Today we end this war. For Earth, for our new friends, for everyone who cannot fight for themselves. Captain. Kim Tae-young piloted his fighter toward the enemy formation, followed by 50 other human pilots. Their small ships looked like insects next to the massive Devourer vessels. But they carried the most important weapon in the fleet, Lieutenant Park Hyun-woo's dimensional severing device. Remember the plan? Tae-young told his pilots. We get close to the mothership, activate the quantum resonance field, then get out fast. The big ships will do the rest. On the planet below, High Counselor Zathera watched the battle through his Crystal Palace's sensors. Millions of his people had gathered in the cities, afraid but hopeful. For the first time in months, they were not running away. The humans are so small compared to the enemy, observed his aide. Small, yes, Zathera replied. My, they fight like they are 10 times bigger than they really are. The Devourer mothership began charging its main weapon, a beam that could destroy planets. Energy gathered around its front section like a growing star. They are targeting the planet, reported Commander Omanesio from the human cruiser Daegu. We have maybe 3 minutes before they fire. Captain Hanji Wu moved her ship, the EU's Busan, directly between the mothership and the planet. If they want to destroy Valthari Prime, they have to go through us first. Her ship was tiny compared to the enemy vessel, but she began firing every weapon she had. Nuclear missiles, kinetic rounds, electromagnetic pulse bombs, everything humanity had learned to make in the past year. The other human ships joined her, creating a wall of fire between the Devourers and the planet. It was a hopeless gesture against such a massive enemy, but it bought Captain Taeyong the time he needed. Quantum resonance device activated, he reported as his fighter reached the mothership's hull. All ships, get ready for dimensional severing. In 10 seconds, the device that Lieutenant Park had designed was simple but devastating. It would cut the Devourer's connection to their dying universe, forcing them to exist completely in this reality where they could be killed by normal weapons. 5 seconds, Taeyong counted down. 3, 2, 1, firing now. The quantum resonance burst was invisible, but its effects were immediate. The Devourer mothership shuddered as its connection to another dimension began to break.
Ow.
For millions of years, these beings had existed between realities, immortal and unstoppable.
Ow.
They were becoming mortal like everyone else. Direct hit on the mothership's core, reported Captain Lee So-young from the UES engine. Their shields are failing. All ships concentrate fire on the main hull. What happened next would be talked about for 1,000 years. The combined human and alien fleet attacked the no-vulnerable mothership with everything they had. Weapons that had been useless before suddenly tore through Devourer armor like paper. The ancient enemy, who had consumed galaxies and destroyed civilizations older. Then Earth began to fall apart under the assault of species they had considered primitive and weak. The mothership is breaking up, Commander Kim Tae-young reported. His voice was calm, but everyone could hear the amazement in it. Repeat, the Devourer mothership is destroyed. The explosion lit up half the solar system. When the light faded, the most feared enemy in galactic history was gone. It's turned into scattered debris and fading energy. The smaller Devourer ships, cut off from their power source, began to shut down, one by one. Some tried to retreat, but without their dimensional abilities. They were just normal ships that could be chased and destroyed. All enemy vessels have been eliminated, Admiral Junho announced to the combined fleet. The threat is over. Several minutes, nobody said anything. The communications channels were silent, as thousands of beings across dozens of species tried to understand that they had actually won. High Counselor Zathera was the first to speak. People of Earth. He broadcast to the human fleet, you have given the galaxy its future back. You will never forget what you have done. 3 months later, Ambassador Kong Yun-soo stood in the Great Hall of the new Galactic Council Station. Representatives from hundreds of worlds had come to witness Earth's formal admission to galactic civilization.
Ow.
The people of Earth accept membership in the Galactic Council, she said in perfect galactic standard language. But we want to make one thing clear. We did not come here to rule anyone or take anything from anyone. We came because you asked for help. She looked around the Great Hall at beings from across the galaxy, crystal people, energy beings, hive minds, and dozens of other species. If darkness comes again, you will not face it alone. Humans keep their promises. When someone calls for help, we answer. That is who we are, and that is who we will always be. The vote to make Earth a permanent member of the Security Council was unanimous. That night, Dr. Kim Hanna sat in her new office on the council station, listening to the peaceful sounds of space. No more desperate distress calls. No more worlds Dying in silence, she smiled as she remembered the night this all began. When strange signals had filled her radio telescope, humanity had gone from wondering if they were alone in the universe to becoming its protectors in less than 2 years. Stars were safe now, and they would stay that way as long as humans were watching.